Good morning, traders. This is your daily market breakdown on the 11th of May. On the GBP USD on the daily time frame, you can see that we are currently bullish. Although the market opened on Monday morning, created this huge candle into the downside, pushing it back into this validated demand zone, and now it is pushing itself back up. So we need to zoom into the lower time frames to take a look at what's really happening. As I mentioned before, the price came down, it re-entered this validated demand zone. It had a very strong reaction here, pushing the price back up. And this is largely driven by the speculation that the peace deal is very flimsy and it could break down at any minute. And so a lot of traders are likely anticipating that the peace talks will break down and start purchasing the DXY. What I'm currently waiting for is on the really low time frame, because we don't like these very long candles into the downside. What I'm waiting for is to see whether or not the price comes back down for a retest, and I'll be looking for something such as this if it does come in for a retest, which is going to be a very, very, very tight trade. 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio on the GBP USD. Ultimately, I am hoping that on the higher time frames, that does come back down into this unverified potential daily demand. That is what I'm currently waiting for. So overall, I am bullish on the GBP USD. I am looking for long positions, but because we're in very uncertain times, I'm waiting to see whether or not short term we're going to be bearish on the GBP USD, because we want to see this unverified potential daily demand get verified, so the price could come back down into this area. Over to Euro USD on the daily time frame. Again, we are very bullish. However, I'm very concerned that this unverified daily demand zone has also not been tapped into yet. And so I'm a little bit afraid that the price may break this structure into the downside on the daily. And if it does break this structure, then we are likely going to see the price retrace back into this daily demand zone, from which I would then look for long positions into the upside. If we scroll down to the 4-hourly time frame, we can certainly see that we are bullish because we are producing higher lows, but we are struggling to break above this key area of resistance. If this resistance holds, because we can see that we have a triple top here, if this resistance holds and then we see a break of structure from here, which will be surpassing the month's open, then likely it will come back for a retest. So what we'll likely see happening is something such as this before then pushing down. Then I would be looking for short positions. I would enter here, placing my stop above the previous high, looking for a 1 to 2.5, 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. Over to USD JPY, yes, we are in a downtrend. We are pushing down, so we are looking for short positions. This was from the previous live stream. So what it entails is the same thing that I'm still waiting for, is a price to come back, retrace back into the supply zone. We know it's a supply zone because it broke market structure over here. And then I'll be looking for a short position into the downside. So this is just taking a little bit longer than it should, but once it enters into this area, I'll be looking for quite a big position on this one. And I would try and target the previous lows down here. And that brings me to what, a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward ratio. I may extend my stop just a little bit just because of liquidity potentially resting above that area. But I'll be looking at maybe a 1 to 1.4 risk to reward ratio on the USD JPY. So heading over to the DXY on the 4-hour time frame, what we can see is that the price pushed aggressively down. It tried to break this area, and you can see I said it needs to break with a full body in order for it to continue into the downside. It failed to do so. So what we're likely going to see happen is the price will come up to one of these lower time frame supply zones, or maybe even come all the way back to the yearly open just up here, and then I will start looking for short positions. And so what I'm waiting, or what I'm hoping for, is that the price does come up, because then that pushes all of our major pairs down, and then we will see the DXY fall. That will play very nicely with our USD JPY as well. And I will be then looking for those shorting positions. If we scroll down to the hourly time frame, we can see that the price is trying to retrace into that monthly open. And then what I would do is wait for some types of confirmation before taking a shorting position. If it fails to break this previous low with a full body candle break after going into this verified supply zone, then I would likely wait to see what it does if it comes up to the yearly open. If it comes up to the yearly open, again, I will wait for confirmation before then shorting. Remember, we are in a bear market on the DXY. Heading over to gold now, we can see that it is majorly struggling to break this area of support. We are on the higher time frames. We are very bullish on the higher time frames. We are very bullish on XAU gold. And so we are looking for long positions. We can see that on the daily that the price came down and then shot itself up, breaking the previous highs market structure with a full body break, generating this new demand zone on the daily. And so what we could see happening is on the lower time frames, if the price succeeds in breaking below this line, so breaking the support, the price is likely going to re-enter into that daily demand. And once it enters into this daily demand, I would then be looking for long positions. So I'm not really touching gold at the moment. I am just waiting to see what happens because this looks very precarious. The reason why is because you can see that we have been pushing down quite aggressively here. The price has now retraced, I assume, to the 0.5 fib. So it's gone to the 0.7 fib. And we can also see this giant potential daily demand zone that was previously verified before. And so I'm a little bit afraid that the price is looking to push itself back down, especially if the DXY pushes itself up. Until I can see a clear trend on the DXY and see gold following suit with a very clear trend, I won't be touching gold, won't be entering into position with gold anytime soon. Right, so heading over to BTC USDT, we are trending upward. This is fantastic. I've always said that I wouldn't be surprised if we break the $90,000 mark sometime this year. We can see the price has come up. It has now had a reaction with the 200 EMA. Remember, we are in a bull trend. What I am assuming is going to happen is we can already see that the price came up. It came back down, breaking market structure, creating this unverified area of demand because we haven't broken market structure just yet. So what we could see happen is a slight retracement back into this demand zone before then looking for those long positions that will eventually break that market structure. So I am looking for long positions on BTC USDT. What's also interesting on the daily frame is that we've finally come back up to the 200 EMA. This is very good news for anybody who is very bullish on the BTC USDT. The only issue you need to be afraid of is that now we're at the 200 EMA, it is starting to level out. We may see quite a sharp reaction, and that is why I would be looking for potential shorts, so short-term short positions into this daily demand before then looking for long positions into the upside. If we drop down to the 4-hour frame, what also could happen is we could see the price only retrace back to this area. So again, I will be looking at this area and this area for those potential long positions. And I wouldn't be surprised if the price actually respected this larger zone here because we know that liquidity is likely resting below these areas. And so the BTC may come in, grab that liquidity before then pushing itself back into the upside and eventually breaking that 90,000 USDT mark. And there it is, traders. That is your daily market breakdown.